Hey guys, I'm Dan from The New Travel, and as some of you already know, I live in Montreal. I've lived here for almost 2 years now. Recently, I've been thinking about some of the things that shocked me when I moved to Montreal, and I thought it'd be interesting to make a little video naming 5 of those things. Number 1, Montreal is an island.
What? No.
To people who grew up in Montreal, this might be so obvious it's like saying the sky is blue. For people like me from other parts of Canada, or people from other countries entirely, I don't think most people know Montreal's an island. Like, you look at the map of Canada, you're like, well, it's not on the East Coast or the West Coast, so how could it be an island? And it's only when you zoom way in on Google Maps and you actually see the 2 rivers running to the north and south of Montreal that you begin to understand, okay, it's an island. Montreal is an island. But this leads me to point number 2, which is that if you live on the island, you actually don't need a car to be in Montreal. And this is something that really shocked me because this is not the case in most of Canada. It's not the case in Winnipeg, which is the city I grew up in. You can't survive without a car. We've just built the cities with cars in mind. But in Montreal, things are different. There's bike lanes everywhere. There's bike rentals you can get called Bixi. That's what I do in the summertime. And in the wintertime, you know, you got plenty of Ubers, you've got taxis, you've got the metro system, which is one of the largest in Canada. But just as important as all that is the fact that Montreal was really built with pedestrians in mind. A lot of old neighborhoods are very walkable, and that's not the case for many cities in Canada. All right, now the next thing that shocked me about Montreal, picnics here are serious business. That's the only way I can put it. Picnics are serious business. Even today, I mean, you can see I have 2 layers on. It's like 9 degrees Celsius. It's not the warmest day. And yet, if I look around, like way over there, those tables are all full of people having picnics. This entire park is full of people having picnics. In fact, one thing my girlfriend has mentioned to me, she also moved to Montreal at the same time as I did. And sometimes she'll walk around on a weekday, like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and she'll say, does anyone work in the city? Like, the parks are just full of people on a nice day. And it's one thing about Montreal, like, people really value their time to have a picnic, to meet with friends, to have a beer or some chips in the park. That's another thing that shocked me. You can actually drink beers in the park, which, unfortunately isn't the case in most of Canada. I think Montreal's ahead of the game, and when it comes to the picnic life, they definitely have things figured out. All right, and point number 4, this one is a bit harder to describe, but I think it's very true. Montreal is a city where people can be whoever they want to be. You see it with the way people carry themselves, the way people dress, the way people act. It's okay to be weird in Montreal. I'll give you an example. Like in Winnipeg, where I grew up, if I tell people I run a YouTube channel and I make videos of myself and I post them on the internet, a lot of people will think that's weird. They'll be like, why are you doing that? What's wrong with you?
I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
Whereas if I tell people in Montreal, everyone's like, yeah, I get it. That's cool. Do your thing. Everyone's got like their own thing like that they do. Everyone's an artist, or everyone's a musician, or everyone is I don't know, like roller skates in the park on weekends. Like, everyone's got their thing. It's okay to be weird in Montreal. In fact, I would say it's encouraged. All right, and the 5th and final thing that shocked me was how every neighborhood is so different. And, you know, all the cliches you might have about Montreal, all the things you might think about Quebec, like, when you actually move here, you realize it's not one city. There's like many different pockets, and every area has its own unique flavor. Like, this area, Plateau, there's a certain type of person who lives in Plateau. Westmount, there's a certain kind of person who lives in Westmount. What's the area? There's an area with a lot of Italians. Saint Leonard. You know, there's like all these different, not just ethnicities, but like styles of life and ways of life and socioeconomic situations. Very rich people, very poor people, French people, English people, Jewish people, Muslim people. Like there's all sorts of existences within Montreal. It makes it cool because, like, especially in a year like this when you can't travel so much, you can just hop on the metro and go to the other side of town, and you're gonna kind of be traveling within your own city. Those are some of the 5 things that have shocked me about this city. If anyone else has moved here or just visited here, I'd love to know some of the things that shocked you. Oh, and as a final point, this is important. I want to make more videos talking about the different neighborhoods in Montreal. I just mentioned how every neighborhood is kind of its own completely different thing. I'd love to visit some of these areas that I know nothing about. So if there's any Montrealers who can be a guide and kind of show me around their neighborhood, send me a message. I think that'd be really cool. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. As always, I'm Dan from The New Travel, and I'll see you next time.